Let's see if we can try this one more time. And hopefully, I got my internet fixed. It was acting funny, it seems like, for day 2. So, I'm just gonna give a couple more and see if we can get anyone on. I lit my dragon's blood incense and my candle, and I thought we'd just make some tea. We'd have some fun and we'd make some tea. So I know that when I did my tea magic live, that it was all about explaining how tea magic works. Well, I then got asked many times if I can kind of explain a little bit how I blend my teas, how I make my recipes, why I do them the way I do them, and do I always make them for a theme or a specific goddess or god or season? And honestly, the answer is I kind of just do what I want. I do it my way and I just have fun with it. So, first things first is I don't have a specific reason that I do what I do. I just get an inkling one day and I say, hey, I want to make a tea. And I make a tea. Let me know, guys, if you're able to see this, because I just realized that none of my comments are actually showing up this time. So usually when that happens, that means that it's not working like it should. And that means I just might have to run and grab my laptop. And I think that's exactly what it means. Oh, perfect. Comments. Hey, Sarah Lee. Ah, you're at work. Hey, Shannon. Okay, awesome. I just wanted to make sure. So yeah, I make my teas based off of just whatever I feel like doing. I do have purpose though when I make my teas, and definitely intention. So dragon tea time, okay guys, is something I'm gonna do once a month. There's a few of us that are gonna do a once a month type of thing, whether it's talking about deities and tea, or talking about blends and make blends. Some people, you know what, I don't really know. Everyone's kind of gonna do their own thing. Do it yourself witchy stuff, you know, crafting stuff, just to have some fun. So this is my version of something I'm gonna do every month, because why? I like to blend teas. I like to try something new, and I just thought this would be perfect. So we're calling it Dragon's Tea Time. Why Dragon's Tea Time? Well, if you didn't already know me, I'm the Dragon Lady. At least that's what everyone's starting to call me. I have dragons everywhere. I have 3 dragons in this house. One right now is not with me, but with my children, and the 2 others are here. But dragons are everywhere for me. Dragons live in my woods. Dragons live everywhere. Dragons are not physical bodies, but they are spiritually, they are spirits, they are guardians. So of course, naturally, Dragon's Tea Time is, hey, let's get your dragons or your mythological creatures and let's make some tea. Let's have some fun. So guys, that's what we're gonna do. So I hope you're ready. So if you didn't see it already, I put up a little bit of a riddle when I tagged all the ingredients that we're gonna use for these 2 teas. And the reason why there's gonna be 2 teas is because the very specific goddess that we're using is divided. She's a divided type of goddess, okay? And when I say that, it's mostly because if you watched my 3 Greek brothers and you heard me speak of Hades, you then heard me speak of Persephone. And Persephone is what this tea blends are all about. So I hope you're ready, guys, okay? So what exactly is, or who exactly is Persephone? So we know that, you know, she was taken into the underground by Hades. We know that, right? We know that a deal was struck and that she had to spend at least 1/3 of the year with Hades and the other 2/3 with her mother. Okay, well, what happens during that 1/3 she's with Hades? Does the world not turn to snow? Does vegetation and growth become halted in a sense and form? So that's one tea. It's her version of when she actually is in the underworld. Okay? Her second version of the tea we're going to make is spring. Okay? She does embody springtime, right? Like her mother. So we'll make a springtime tea, and then we're making a dark goddess tea. So I hope you're ready. If you didn't get any ingredients, that's perfectly fine. If you want to watch and see if you like it, that's perfectly fine too. I know pomegranates right now are a little harder to find for some. I was lucky because my actual local grocery market has pomegranates right now. And I kept them frozen for this specific reason. Because I didn't know if I was going to get an opportunity as perfect as when I found them. But we do have a secondary type of fruit that we can use that is almost the same flavoring, and it actually does 100% go hand in hand with pomegranates. It has the same planet sign and it has the same element sign, okay? So cherries. If you have cherries instead, pitted or unpitted, it doesn't really matter. Sorry. Pitted or unpitted, it works just the same. And the flavor might be a little different, where your cherries actually might be a little bit sweeter. So if you like a sweeter tea, then maybe use cherries instead of pomegranates. But we're going to use pomegranates because pomegranates represent death, and it represents the underworld, and it represents immortality too. So those are the types that we're going to use pomegranates for and why. So we're going to make an herbal tea for spring, and we're going to make a black tea, something different, guys, that you guys haven't seen me make yet, but I'm going to make a black tea for our dark goddess. Okay? All right. Well, hey everyone, I'm so excited. I have more people than I thought were going to be here at this time since it's so early and dead smack in the middle of the week. Okay. So, Persephone embodies, all right, the passage of time, the movement of the seasons, okay, like we said. Her return to Hades brings, like I said, vegetation pretty much at a halt till she comes back. So, we're going to start with our dark goddess tea first, okay, so our black tea. I'm going to give you the properties of the herbs I use. Why? Because why not? Learning properties of herbs helps you with any type of magic, any type of spells that you want to do later on down the road. So this just kind of helps you refresh them. If you already know about the herbs, I might give you a little bit different point of the properties magically that work for me. So, I said the dark goddess tea, right? Okay. So first things first. I'm going to get my pot. And what I'm doing is I'm going to give you the properties while my water is boiling. And I say that because, well, one, we're going to speed up time. Because I know everyone has either at work or has, something else to do. So I have everything prepped. I have my pomegranates that I already pulled out of my actual pomegranate fruit. And I did all this earlier, so you guys are awesome. I have cherries, just to show you that you can use cherries too, which in this case we're using pomegranates. And then I have my raspberries, fresh organic raspberries. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of ate some of them earlier because they were that good. So those are the fruits we're gonna use. So like with anything, I'm using 2 different types of water for each tea, okay? The first one right here is my storm water. This was from the last big storm that we had here in Ohio. So this is the water I'm going to use for my black tea. I'm going to use new moon water from the last new moon for my springtime tea, okay? So I'm using 2 different types of waters. And if you remember watching the lives on waters, you'll remember, what's the purpose of a storm water? What's the purpose of moon water? What can it you know, do. So new moon water is great for rejuvenation. It's great for lifting things, feeling things, creating things new. Okay. Storm water, this helps intensify your intention. This helps bring about any of the rough patches that you have to pretty much get through the day. Storm water in this case is how we're going to use it. Now granted, there's 1,000 different properties of storm water, but that's what we're going to use for today. So it's our intensifying water. It amps up this offering, I guess you can say, because that's pretty much what these are, right? We're drinking to honor Persephone. Why? Because we're in a shadow time right now, which really funny, not off topic at all, but yesterday was like almost 60 degrees in Ohio, and it's been in the 20s lately. Today, snowing. Complete snow. So what's the best thing about that is Persephone already knows we were doing this, because she's still with Hades right now. She has not technically come out from the underworld yet. She's not with her mom yet. So this is her giving us a little, I'm here, okay? So keep that in mind when we do this. And when you want to do it too, keep that in mind too, depending on when you actually do this. If you're making the springtime tea and it's that time that Persephone came out of the underworld, that's fantastic. And know that she's there. And maybe her mother's there too. But in this case, Persephone is down with Hades, so perhaps we have Hades with us as well. But Persephone is definitely going to appreciate, I can say, because this was something that I created specifically for her. This was something I used pomegranates for that I've never used pomegranates before, and it came out delish. Delish, guys, okay? So, before I go through properties, remember, we're gonna do this. So, like I did last time, I'm going to tweak it down a little. So, I have my pan, storm water. Like always, I always use about 1.5 cups, because remember, we're pretty much just making this for us. But in this case, now you know everything we do here you can always make more of. You just have to change the quantities. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on low heat. Don't mind my messy kitchen, guys. Low heat, and let that simmer some, okay? So, let me just make sure I'm not forgetting what I wanted to say. All right, so pomegranates, like I said, we're looking at a symbol of life, okay? Don't mind if I hit this little thing. If I lean on it, it makes noise. So, symbol of life, symbol of death, immortality, which I absolutely love. The fact that it's immortality. Granted, she was already a goddess, so she was already technically immortal, but it just kind of like goes with. Another thing that's really interesting about pomegranates is that if you want to give a blood offering in any type of spell or ritual work, pomegranates are fantastic to use as a blood offering because it is the blood fruit. It's, you know, it's the fruit that Persephone had to eat. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the fruit that she did eat / seed that she ate that actually kept her tied pretty much to the underworld, okay? So it's a great, great fruit if you need to use something as a blood offering and you don't actually want to use blood. So there you go. Its elements are split, which I find very fascinating because it is life and death, pomegranate is. It actually uses air and fire, 2 different elements. It also does the same thing for its planets. Now, if you think and you know anything about the planets, guys, it's really fascinating because Venus is the planet of love, right? Pluto is the planet of transformation and darkness, isolation, and death. Well, guess what? Does that not depict Persephone on both forms that she is? So, funny thing is pomegranates is planets, Venus and Pluto. And yes, we still use Pluto in my planetary magic. I promise. I will never take Pluto out because it connects with Hades and Persephone, and I will never take it out. So that's pomegranates. That's the first thing we're going to do. Raspberries, its planet is pretty much based off of Venus as well, because raspberries very symbolic of love. It's very symbolic of protection as well. Its element goes hand in hand with the planet itself and its element, which is water. So if you're going to notice that, if you hear me talk about planet, you're going to hear me talk about the actual like element which ties with the planet. So Venus and water is the element. Protection, which, would we not use protection when we're fighting off the darkness? So that's how we're using raspberries. We're not using raspberries as a love thing, because if you want to tie that in there with Persephone in the underworld, you can, because there's so many different spins off the myth. But yes, she technically did love Hades over time, but she loved her mother and her other life as well. So maybe you want to use it as both. In this sense that we're making our dark goddess tea, is we're going to use it as a protection. Okay, so this is her protection from being into the underworld. If you wanted to use cherries, here's the best thing, guys. Like I said, Venus is its planet, water is its element. Is that not the same as pomegranates? One, remember, pomegranate has two. So Venus and water, it's the same as cherries. So even its magical properties are almost identical to pomegranate as a sense of elemental base and planetary base. But cherries represent love, guys, and divination. So if you use cherries, I would use it for both. Why not use for divination? Maybe you need to make this as an offering one day, not just to drink it, to appreciate and respect her. Tea magic is all about intention, guys. What you create gets put into your cup. Your cup then goes into you, and it becomes you. It becomes the soul that you are, okay? So, remember, cherries, love. Raspberries, what was it? Do we remember? Protection. And then our pomegranate, of course, is life, death. You could use it as a blood offering if you wanted to. Even, even for fertility, you could use that if you want to. So it's an if and if. The other thing that is going to be included with the black tea is obviously... Hey, Kathy. No, you're good. The other thing we're going to add to this is actually a black tea. Now, there are so many different types of black teas. What we're going to use is one of my two favorites. We're going to use an Irish breakfast black tea. So I hope you guys like that. You can use Earl Grey. You can just go to the store and literally get black tea, rip the packs open and put it and use that. It doesn't really matter. You can use an English breakfast tea. You can use anything, but I'm going to use the Irish breakfast blend. Why? Because I am half Irish and I love it. And it tastes very good. And Irish black tea for us is used for, are you ready, guys? You ready? Ready? Get close. Ready? It's used for love. Did you know that? It's not all about appearance when it comes to black tea, but the Irish black tea is actually a love tea. So in this case, with this darkness, this is the connection that we're going to use between Hades and Persephone. That's why I picked Irish black tea. But again, you can choose anything. Just be careful if you use Earl Grey. It's a little stronger and more potent, so you might want to let your fruit seep a little bit more in your water before you actually blend it up, because I promise it's really strong. I made the mistake one time of making something with Earl Grey, and I used a little bit too much Earl Grey. The other thing we're going to use is rose hips. So rose hips is the same thing as when we use rose petals. So love, luck, healing. So rose hips in this case is a luck. So it's giving Persephone the luck of staying in the underworld. and getting through that 1/3 of the year so she can get back out to her mother for the spring. So, luck. Kathy says, so Irish black tea is the best. It is my personal opinion. I do love Irish black tea. For this blend, it tastes really good because it's a lighter tea. It's not a very heavy tea. And that's what we kind of want because remember, it's dragon tea time. But there are so many thousands of different flavors of tea. So please try something. If you have a favorite, you stick with your favorite, okay? I personally just really love Irish black tea, and that's why I'm using it for this one, okay? So rose hips were the other one, guys. So I'm gonna go turn this up a little bit more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pomegranates, guys. You ready for this? Ronnie said, I almost bought Earl Grey. See, you just knew. Someone was like, don't buy it, don't buy it. And you know what? It might have been my dragons whispering, saying, Ronnie, don't buy it. Crystal doesn't use that for this blend. And like I said, I didn't specify it on the ingredients because people do have their own intentions, okay? If you hear me kind of zone off to the side, I do apologize. I got heavy ringing in the ear today, which always is a sign for me of someone's talking. Okay, so we're going to take your pomegranates, guys. Now, I'm not going to use all of these because that's a lot, and I want to make a couple blends of this, like, you know, maybe later tonight I'll have some too. So I take 1 tablespoon, aka what I call 1 part of. So if you see me say, like, you need 1 part of this, 1 part of that, there is a reason why I say that, and it pretty much represents the tablespoons I use. Kathy says, those dried pomegranates. Nope, these are fresh pomegranates. I cut the pomegranate and I seeped all the seeds out. This is what I grabbed. I didn't grab them all, but I grabbed most of them. Do not, so you know how when we did like oranges and I actually used the peel, with pomegranates, you never ever want to use the peels because actually the peels seeped and boiled is actually a little bit of a poison factor. And we don't want that. So stay away from that. Also, there's a stem on the inside and it's thin and you don't realize it's there. But when you're digging these babies out, I would try and make sure you get all the stem parts out. If you see them, and you'll see them, they're white. It's like white too. So stay away from the stem and the skins. Okay, we don't want anyone to have any issues. Okay. Kathy says I can't seem to find pomegranates here. Yep. And Ronnie, real quick before I jump to Kathy, she said like a membrane. Yes, it's exactly like a membrane. If you cut open a pomegranate, it actually looks literally like a membrane cut in half. You're going to see all the seeds just kind of in, and you got to dig them out. So you just use a spoon. That's what I did, and I was able to get these babies out. And like I said, I didn't use them all. And I had a big pomegranate, too. I have another one in the house I didn't use yet. Kathy, I'm not sure if you were here when I said this, but if you can't find pomegranates, and this is why I did these two, you can use cherries. You can get these in the frozen section. You can get these actually like in the fresh fruit section. These ones are actually the frozen ones, and they're pitted, so they're amazing. And I just let them sit out so that way they weren't like completely frozen. So yeah, you could definitely use cherries. It's the same factor you're gonna get when it comes to intention, and they taste just as sweet as a pomegranate is gonna taste when you blend. It's just a little bit more sweeter. So if you like a little bit more sweeter, then actually it'll be like perfect. Gotcha, good looking girly. Look, see, I knew pomegranates were hard. Trust me, it took me a minute to find these babies. Okay, so take your spoon, take your pomegranates. 1 part. 2 parts. And then we're gonna put 3 parts for luck. Then I'm going to take my raspberries, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna eat one real quick because they're so good. You can put like, I think we're gonna put 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll put 9 in. 9 of these babies. And like we did with the others, you just let it sit. Okay, you let it come to a boil. Keep stirring it, so just in case the pomegranate doesn't come up. And what you're doing is you're going for that essence. You want that essence from the raspberries of protection and the pomegranates of life and death, okay? You want it to seep into the water. You want it to literally become something powerful. So like with our tea magic before, even though this is just us blending some teas, set an intention in your head, okay? What would you say to the dark goddess Persephone about how winter has been? Or how we're still trying and struggling to come out of the darkness, okay, with winter? Speak it, all right? I'm not going to sit there and tell you what to say and what to do, because it's all on your intention, guys. So sit there, seep it. As you see it boiling, I mean, I can already see the water is actually turning a little colors here, which is really pretty. Let the water boil into it, okay? You want the fruit's essence. That is what we have. We're unfortunately draining its essence in the water, but we're going to give it to something, okay? We're going to take it in, and we're going to give it to us, because we now become the embodiment of our magic, do we not? So, as this is boiling, I'm going to take, we'll take this bowl. So, I have my Irish breakfast, and I have my rose hips, guys. And my little fancy stir, although I don't use it like that. And then I'm going to take my other tablespoon. No, I'm not. I put it in here. Yeah, I did. Okay, sorry. I had a half a tablespoon. That throws me off. Okay, so I'm going to take 2 parts of rose hips, guys. Actually, I could probably do this. So let me bring this baby down like this. Can you see it all, guys? Right, it's 1 part, now 2 parts. Then my Irish breakfast. Now this you got to be really careful. So if you like your tea like strong, okay, I would advise a part and a half. So a tablespoon and a half. But if you like a little weaker, I would advise about 1 part. So I'm going to make it a little stronger because I do like my black teas. So, and then a half. I'm going to take my fancy little stir just because I do this. I always like to blend it, even though technically in this, it's all about the water, the raspberries, and the pomegranate. But I really love just blending this, right? And the fact that it's, you know, the rose hips, which is extremely dark style of rose, and the Irish black tea has this beautiful, let's see if I could grab some. I'll do this one. I mean, just look at this. You know, look how pretty that is for an Irish tea. Like, it's just, I don't know, there's something about it. Like, this tea is just beautiful. It smells amazing. Which I hope with all the, you know, essence, I hope you can smell this baby. But this is what this part looks like, okay? So it's nothing crazy and it's nothing fancy because you don't have to add 1,000 herbs to make a tea, right? You can literally add 2 herbs and some fruit water. At least that's what everyone calls it, okay? So I'm just gonna lift this phone up here. And the whole, Okay, sorry guys, I'm all over the place here. Okay, so as you can see, we have some boiling. So let me just grab. I'm gonna bring this a little closer so you can really see it. So tell me if that's not beautiful. So it's almost there too. And how you can tell is one, the raspberries are pretty much depleted. And the pomegranate, the essence from the pomegranate, which I'll show you, you can tell are coming out too. So it's beautiful. Oh gosh. Guys, I wish you can smell this. It smells amazing. Gina, can you smell it? Oh gosh. It's just, whew. I love infusing my teas with fruit water. And that's what a lot of people call it, but I call it essence. The essence of the fruit. And it's just, oh. Let's see. Amanda says, I was always told never to boil the water of tea, so that is totally new to me. And you know what? That is something I've definitely heard too. But what we do is we boil it for the fruit essence. But when I make my actual blend, it's a warm type of water, I guess you can say. Like, I'm still going to boil it, but I'm not actually putting it to a boil, because since this pan will already be hot, I just put the water in and I let it kind of simmer itself. Ronnie, you think you could smell it too? I'm telling you, this is just beautiful, beautiful. And it's perfect because you don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to take it off the heat for a minute, okay? Because I don't want to overdo it on the fruit itself, because that's like straight no-no. So while we're letting that simmer for a sec, because like I said, we don't want to put it in any type of cup because we did have it at a boiling phase. But Amanda, I mean, I've heard that same thing, and I've done both. And to me, they're both amazing. I don't know if you were able to catch my other Tea Magic live, but we made Winter's Hearth tea with cranberries. And we did the same thing. We boiled the cranberries with orange peels, and it came out just amazing. And it just felt just perfect for what we need, because it was so cold, especially where I'm from here in Ohio. And it just came out perfect. I couldn't have had a better winter up until just recently. So it worked its magic for me. Okay, so check that out. It may only apply to white and green teas. It makes the teas bitter if you use boiling water. And that's true, because most of the teas that I use with fruit infused, I don't use white or green teas. So that is a great possibility. I do use it with black and herbal teas. So you might have something there. And I actually am going to look further into that, because now you actually piqued my interest on that. So I'm going to develop a little bit more on my own tea magic. So thank you, Amanda. You just helped me learn something. Ronnie says, so we shouldn't pop the pomegranate beads. No, you want to keep the actual red burgundy color. See, outside part, that's what you want. That's what's seeping in, because you're taking what's inside the actual seed is actually going to expand into that, and it's going to push out, if that makes sense, like a vapor. That was why we did that. The New Year's tea blend was fantastic. I make it at least once a week. Yep, I'm telling you, that Winter's Hearth tea was amazing. Let me just make sure I didn't pass anything up. Well, hopefully, Sarah Lee, you can be there soon. Okay, cool. So, so we're done with this for right now. Letting that water sit. Where's my seeper? Okay, so I don't know if anyone else has one of these. They come in all different sizes. I actually didn't have one in my last one because I busted it a couple days before. So I finally went out and got one that I actually really wanted, and it was big enough, because I like to make like more for, like, say Megan, and my husband always tries my experimental teas, as I call them. So yeah. Let's see. What's up, Gina? See, I bet you don't want to scorch the leaves maybe, or if it's too hot, it destroys either the enzymes or breaks down the cellular walls of the herbs and makes it bitter. I can definitely see that. I really can. And that's probably why I always let it sit so it's not at a boiling point anymore and it just becomes a hot point. So yeah, you guys are really hitting it tonight. I'm loving this, guys. Yes. Right. So I got this. And what I'm going to do, oh yeah, I was like, where did I put it? So we all know this baby from last time, right? This is my little glass tea thing. So you can actually like see the colors and all that. And it's my little ball that I'll put the actual blend that we made in here. I'll put it in my bowl. So the water will go here after I steep it. And then I'll have this. But we're going to let that sit for a little bit more. But man, oof, I can smell that baby. I'm so excited, guys. So flipping excited. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in my bowl to get that part started. So I'm just going to turn it so you can kind of see. Because this is our interactive blending of teas and learning some stuff. Why? Because that is what witches do. We help each other out. And when we help each other out, we grow, we ascend together. And that is what I am all about, is ascending together. What's up, Megan? Did you need to come up?
Huh?
Did you need to come up?
Yeah.
Come up.
Sorry.
I know, you're good. We're just doing some blending. Yay!
She wants to know if I can start the 22nd. I said I would ask you. I said yes, but like...
What day is that?
It's a little bit after 2 weeks.
Like what date? Like what's the day?
I think it's Monday.
We can make it happen. Do we know what time?
She said I have to call on the 19th to get a schedule.
Sweet. Congrats. Congrats. I'm excited. Oh, I'm sure everyone's worried. Guys, I know she's like gonna be embarrassed that I said this, but Megan finally got this call we've been waiting for what, 3 weeks now?
Yeah.
For this new job that's way closer to home. So yeah, she's like, I just got hired. Can I start on the 22nd?
He said to call her back, but I told her I'm pretty sure it was a yes.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. We'll make it work.
Okay, she said she was so excited for me. She was like laughing and like, I was like, oh my gosh.
That's great.
Yeah, and she said she was giving me my 2 weeks. It's a little bit more than 14 days.
That's
so
fine.
Like, should I tell my boss now?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so there's that, guys.
Sorry.
No, you're good, Megs.
Oh gosh, now I'm getting tagged in all these
Yep,
comments.
a bunch of congratulations. Okay, I'm going to take my baby here. I'm gonna do this over here. Why? Because I don't want to make a mess. So I'll be right back. Seep. Perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just clear this. Awesome. Pan that. Cool. Back on the heat. So, here it is, guys. Just let me bring it to you. Now we're going to, it's pretty nice warm water. So that's the color between the raspberries and the pomegranate. So we are going to take our tea like we always do, and we're going to steep this baby right in. So I'll turn it to the side because I have it tossed to the side. And you just kind of let it sit there for a minute or so. So 2 to 3 minutes steep, if you guys remember. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to swirl it around. All right. So there was that. Now I'm going to put the rest of this in a little tray here because I don't want to lose it. Wonderful. Just do a little clean up. All right. Perfect. Let that see. Oh my god, it's already turning pretty black. Okay, so our next tea is, ladies, we're going to make our, now see, did I give it a name? Oh yeah, I should probably tell you the names I gave them. So our Dark Goddess tea is actually called Persephone's Darkness tea. So I hope that is fitting, because that's what it is. It's Persephone's Darkness. The floral slash springtime tea we're going to do is going to be Spring's Daughter tea. So I'm sure you figured out why we named that this way, because of Persephone and her mother. This is the herbal tea that we're going to make in honor of springtime, as we are moving into spring, guys. So, Spring's Daughter tea. So what we are going to use is my new moon water. Same equivalency, but we're not putting this on hot, like hot, so no worries about that. Don't mind my little jar. I love these dang things. I buy them on purpose. One cup. Oh, we're just gonna make two, because I know Megan will drink some too. She always drinks my teas. Alright, so we're gonna put this on a lower heat, but not too low, just to get it at least warm. Okay, moving these babies out of my way. What we're gonna look at first. So we're making this for spring, okay? So we can look at it as Persephone finally giving her mother that hug, okay? The opening of, I don't know how to say this, maybe that final awakening of the first bulb of spring from those flowers that were hiding since autumn time are now emerging at the spring. So we're going to use this as Persephone's going to finally see her mom after 1/3 of the year, which is always bad. So the ingredients we're using for this, guys, is lemon balm, calendula, aka marigold, dandelion leaf, jasmine flowers, rose petals, and lavender flowers, okay? So this one seems like a lot, but it really isn't, because there's no actual fruit involved. It's all straight herbal, okay? And there's no caffeine in it. So this helps the ones that can't really drink caffeine too much, because remember, the black teas definitely have caffeine. Let me just check on that, make sure it's doing good. And it is. Look at that baby. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so properties. Let's go ahead through these beautiful properties, and I promise it won't take long, because we already know rose petals mean love, okay? They are love, healing, and luck. So let's take our pick. Do we want love, healing, or luck on this? We're going to go with luck on this one. I'm going to like it for the luck part, okay? So rose. Rose is Venus. Rose is also a water element, okay? So, of course, it goes hand in hand with, you know, everything's about love. So she's loving her mom. She's loving the springtime. She's loving being out from the darkness, okay? So that is our roses, okay? Our next one that we're looking at is going to be our lemon balm, all right? I actually have to stock up on my lemon balm. I use this so much. So lemon balm. So this actually is the planetary magic is based off of the moon. It's also based off of water as well, which is really, really nice. Lemon balm also has a healing aspect. It has a love aspect, but it has a success aspect. So I would like to use this as success. Her success from coming from Hades' domain. So that's what we're going to use lemon balm, okay? Success. Our next one is calendula, or marigold, okay? This one, which intrigues me so much, but this is a fire element herb, okay, flower. This also is the sun. So I love basing that off of that. So because if you really look at them when they're not broken up, but it can look like the sun. I mean, literally look like the sun. If you actually see the flower, it's the freaking sun, all right? It's golden, it's beautiful, the rays. So fire element, it's the sun. This is great for dreams, like prophecy style dreams. This is great for protection. So that is what we're using this as. The sun is going to protect Persephone while she's on this time, because Hades is tricky. Maybe he might try and trick her back down there, but even though a deal was struck, the sun will protect her. So we're going to use this as protection. The next one is dandelion, guys. Dandelion leaf. This is an air element. Jupiter is the planet for this one, which is pretty cool. Even though, you know, Jupiter is the thunder planet, the lightning planet. But in this case, we're going to use it for wishes. Dandelions are great for wishes because I don't know, you know, if anyone else ever did it, but take a dandelion and, you know, pluck it, make a wish. He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. We've been making magic and doing magic even as kids without realizing it. So, wishes are what we're going to use dandelion for, okay? Wishes, because she made those wishes down. Wishing she can see the sun and see the spring again. And enjoy just being on the top side of the earth and feeling the ground beneath her feet as she walked. So that's what we're using those for. Our next one are jasmine, which I only pulled this much out. I gotta get some more jasmine, but here's our jasmine flower. This is also a planetary of the moon, which also is then falling through the water element, guys. So this is all about abundance and love. So obviously we're gonna use it for our love, loving of the spring, okay? Because she absolutely adores everything about the spring. Ronnie says, lemongrass is different. Why? What do you mean? You mean different from what? Elaborate for me, Ronnie, and I'll answer your question, hopefully. Lemongrass is different. Why? Okay, so jasmine, like I said, we're using for abundance and love, but we're going to use it mostly for abundance. Then we have our lavender. Lavender flowers, our last ingredient, okay? This is also a Venus planetary. This is also a water element on this. Jasmine has this amazing power. Now, see, I'm going to cut this off. Perfect, perfect. It's not too hot. This is great for, like, relaxing because a lot of people like to add lavender in their sleep time tea. So lavender is fantastic for relaxation and healing, and that is exactly how we're going to use it today. So she's going to relax because she's finally home, okay? Did I miss any of the ingredients? I don't think so. Lemon balm. Oh, different from lemon balm. They are different. I shouldn't use lemongrass. No, they are definitely different. Even the taste is different. Lemon balm actually does have not as bitter as lemongrass. Lemongrass is a lot bitter and the properties are different as well. So I wouldn't use lemongrass in that. And if I'm not mistaken, give me one sec, please. There you are. And lemongrass looks completely different. So here's my lemongrass, guys. So the look alone is even different. And then here's lemon balm, okay? And the properties are different as well. They're not the same type of properties. So I would definitely stay away from this when it comes to this tea, because I've never blended with this one in this tea, so I'm not sure how it might transition. But this is definitely a sweeter taste. This is a more bitter taste. So I'd stay away from this one. I'll put this up here so I don't accidentally put it in. All right. Is everyone good with the properties? All right. I hope so. All right. So we're going to do the same thing. So we have just warm water. It's not boiled. You could tell it's just a little hot. See? No boil. No boil, guys. Just hot. Okay? Because like Amanda said and Gina said, we don't want to burn anything. That's not the intention. All right, so let's make Spring's daughter's tea. Okay? And I hope she enjoys this. So, let me get my little tablespoons. And let's start with some roses, guys. Okay? So, let's do exactly what we did last time. Let me bring these babies down. Okay, can we see it? There we go. All right. So, I usually crush my stuff, but in this case, I don't want to crush anything. So, what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to put my heaps on. So, I'm going to put 2 parts of roses. And I'm going to get this pretty chunk here because this one's calling. All right. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to break them apart myself. And the whole time I'm going to sit there like I'm feeling a rose again. Granted, these are dried, but that soft feel of a rose, just, you know, I don't know. This one's not even bloomed. Oh, that's so pretty. So I'm pretty much just blending it myself, making it feel like spring is back already. Then I'm going to take my jasmine and I'm going to, this is one of the weird things I like to do, but I crunch it in my own hands and then I blend it. And I'm going to use my hands. I hope you guys don't mind. I mean, this is my tea, so I promise my hands are very clean. But blending myself makes me feel better. Okay? And by me crunching the jasmine flowers is I'm getting that actual middle essence from it. So that's why I like doing that. So now we're going to take some lavender because lavender is straight calling my name. But on lavender, we don't want too much because we don't want to make us very sleepy. So I'm going to use 1/4. So I have a 1/2 teaspoon. So I'm going to take half of that. And I'm going to sprinkle that baby in there. All right, then I'm going to take this out real quick because I don't want my black tea. There we go. Then I'm going to take my lemon balm, okay? So this is one of my favorite things. This one, we're actually going to use 2 parts for the lemon balm, okay? So I try and even this one out because I don't want it to be overfilling. But you sprinkle this baby on there. Then our beautiful dandelion leaf, which is all about our wishes. And we're going to take 1 part of this. And then our last part, guys, is our calendula, aka marigold. And I'm going to do the same thing because marigolds are so big. So I'm just going to take a couple of these and I'm going to break them in my hand and bring them around myself. Like so. And then a couple I'll leave a little bigger. But the actual balls I'm going to break in half. And that is our blend. Isn't that pretty, guys? It's very spring. All right, so I'm going to lift this up. Hey, guys. All right, and I'm gonna close this up. All right. And Sara Lee's actually, that's actually really good. Yeah, it'd be 1 part jasmine. I'm sorry, Amanda, I already had it portioned out. Yes, 1 part jasmine. But I keep it on the low side because they're actual, you know, the petals of the jasmine. So that's why I put it in my hand. And it's about, 1 part jasmine is actually about like 9, 10 actual jasmine flowers. So, and that's one way of looking at it. And Sarah Lee said it's like opening their energies. And that's genius. I don't know how you said that. I never even thought to even say it that way, but yeah, it is. It's helping it release into the blend itself. I mean, it's just by looking at it, it smells amazing. You know, does that make sense? I can't even smell it because I haven't actually infused it yet with the water, but I can already smell it in my mind. And I can already tell my little buddies here are very happy with them as well, because they haven't rang in a minute. So let me go with my other ball, and then I'm going to put this one on. And I actually just got this one not too long ago, and I have yet to use it, so this will be the first time I get to use it. I love these ones. Okay, so let me get this baby right here. Cool. So I'm going to pour. Wow. I'm going to start with our black tea, and it turned it to a dark red. I know it's hard to see, but it's a darker red. Oh man, it smells so good. So without tilting it too much, which I'll get a picture of it all. So that's our actual black tea, even though it's not really black. It's like a really dark red. And then I was like, where's my other cup? Then I'm going to take some of this. How much dandelion? 1 part dandelion. And I'm going to put the actual partage in a poster for you guys, so you guys can have it. I just didn't want to put it up too early, because you guys already knew my secrets, and then you guys just couldn't, you know, you wouldn't listen to me, and then, you know, I'd be having all this fun by myself. So I'm going to take my little scooper, and I'm going to scoop straight in. Come on, guys. There we go. So now I have my little bowl filled with our herb. And I'm going to take some of this beautiful water, and I'm going to pour it into our cup. I love my teacups. So our water. And I'm gonna let it sit. Just like that. And I'm gonna let it infuse. 2 to 3 minutes, like I always do. So, what'd you guys think? Did you guys have fun? I mean, I hope it wasn't like too much, and the other ones, they won't be 2 teas, it'll just be 1. So, but this one, and actually Sarah came up with the idea of having the dual sides of Persephone. And since technically I talked about 80s with a little bit of Persephone in it, it was very fitting. And with spring coming, it was definitely fitting that we would elaborate a little bit on her. And, you know, it's springtime. I mean, Persephone's going to be coming back very, very soon. Oh, how I love this tea. I sure love tea time. Thank you for this awesome live. Oh, thanks, Amanda. And I really appreciate this. I appreciate you guys actually stopping in. I'm very grateful that I had actually all of you guys join me. I love that I got to make this for you. And I really hope you guys enjoy it. I'll put up the actual recipes with the parts in it, so that way you can make it when you're ready to make it. When I put the pomegranate, I'll put / cherries, so that way you know you can make it either way. Remember, some people might want a little bit of darker. Maybe you can't do the fruit. Take the fruit out and use the rose hips and the black tea. It still works, guys. Okay? Well, I think that's everything. Yay! Oh my gosh, guys, I just absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much for dragging me. Thank you for joining me for Dragon's Tea Time. I'm hoping that next time you will bring your dragons, if you have them, to join us. And maybe we'll make a small dragon tea one of these times. I'm thinking maybe in the fall time we might make an actual dragon tea. I have a few, but I'm working on something special. But I'm looking for that perfect herb that I've yet to find for them. So here's hoping. So I love you guys. Blessed be. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.